Okay.
We're back.
Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of sifting through reviews, and I see a lot of the same consistent criticism. I've seen Brie Larson sort of criticized for being maybe a little wooden, but the biggest criticism that I see is she doesn't have a real character arc. She doesn't learn anything. So I picked up this review by Matt Goldberg.
Before you begin, yeah. I also want to say online, and so this is the online communities that I'm not on Reddit. I could talk forever about how much I hate Reddit, but I'm on Imgur, which has a big mix of it's they call it Himgur because there's so many men on it, and it has a big mix of the type of people that are in it. I actually haven't seen very much criticism. I saw a lot of criticism of Wonder Woman. I haven't seen the same type of criticism for just personally. Yeah. So maybe you have. Let's see what you have to say.
I think the most of the folks I'm looking at are sort of film critics. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, that's the film critics.
Not the weird anti woman incel crowd that tried to review bomb the movie.
I'm kind of thinking just generally people. You know a lot about film. You like to talk about film. You like to read about film, all that stuff. I don't. I'm a person who goes and likes to watch big explosions. Everybody knows that about me. Yeah. So, and when I listen to people talk about movies, none of these are critics, and I hear women talk about Captain Marvel on Facebook, and then generally men talk about Captain Marvel on Imgur, and I don't see the same sort of criticism that I saw at Wonder Woman, but. Let's see what the critics have to say and how. I mean, this is probably something I haven't heard before.
Cool. So this is from Matt Goldberg. He reviews for Collider. I'm a big fan of Collider. They do good stuff. Okay. In his particular review, he says, on the one hand, it's a thrill to see a female superpower with godlike powers. I enjoyed it in 2017 with Wonder Woman, and I enjoy it now with Captain Marvel. But interesting characters have flaws and foibles, and Captain Marvel seems afraid to give its title character anything that could be perceived as a weakness. This in turn deprives Captain Marvel of some of his humanity and the shading that other superheroes receive. Agree or disagree? And if you disagree, what are Captain Marvel's flaws and foibles?
This is a fun thing to talk about because I don't... I think the question is a little unfair because if I look at all of the Marvel superheroes, I find that few of them have real, true, deep, scary flaws. If I look at Captain America and I say, "Oh, Captain America has no flaws," he has no flaws, right?
He's the one that you sort of. I mean, Captain America is like a cheat character in part because
I don't think it's just him. If I think about some of these other ones, his
like Iron Man, Star-Lord.
Iron Man is the only one Thor. Who I think because they fleshed out more of his character in Iron Man 3. That has these big flaws, but if I look at the others, they're pretty straightforward. Their flaws are oh, I didn't work hard enough. So I think the question is a little unfair. But if I were to say, does she have enough flaws?
Doctor Strange is a dick. Let's run through him. Doctor Strange is a dick at the beginning of his movie.
Okay.
So that's kind of the core of his arc. He goes from being a dick to not being a dick. Right.
Talk about wooden. Okay, that's wooden.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's. I don't think that's certainly. I think that as an origin film, this is a much stronger film. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about the flaws in the characters, right? So I think Star-Lord is clearly flawed. I think he is a completely emotional human being. And completely reactive, and he does it with the same thing with ego that he does to Thanos, and that's why everyone gets really pissed off with him in Infinity War.
He gets mad. He starts trying to shoot somebody.
He shoots stuff. He doesn't think it through, right? Who else we
Black Panther.
Black Panther is fairly unflawed.
Exactly. Let's see what are Thor's flaws?
I think Thor's kind of dumb.
Well, Thor's dumb. I
don't know if that's really a flaw.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my answer then. My answer is her flaws are at least as strong as any other hero other than Iron Man, who is the hero of the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
I think that's a fair argument to say that most of them are actually unflawed and that it's an illusion that we tell ourselves. I think the other reason that people think that she's unflawed is because they haven't. I actually think she's super flawed, and I think that she actually comes around in the end of the film. And I'm gonna take a drink here.
Well, before you begin, I gotta say, that's why I said she at least has as many flaws as the others, because I think she has a great arc. But I want to hear you talk about it.
What do you think is her arc? Actually, before I give my 2 cents.
I think that she starts off, her arc as in who she was when she remembered herself, or starting from
the very beginning of the movie, because all these movies are like, person is a dick, person learns something, person becomes a hero at the end of the movie. It's the story of all origin stories, right? So like, what was sort of broken? What's her arc? Like, how does she change by the end of the movie, right?
How does she change by the end of the movie?
And Captain America's the exception. He never changes. And I think the writers have even talked about it.
I think he gets a little worse in terms of his flawlessness,
which is great. That's a good change. That's a good change.
Which is a fair change.
Yeah, their whole approach with Captain America was, if we make him the perfect man, and if we wrap him in the flag, we have to make him a perfect man, because, right? Right. So then how does a perfect man deal with complicated situations? So all his conflicts are external to him. They're never sort of internal to him. So he's like different from all the other characters, but generally speaking, if you follow sort of cinema making rules, they start broken, they come out a little more healed at the end of it. So what's her journey?
Okay, so I think she is trying to be successful in a way that people are telling her to be, which is the whole control your emotions, be a good. They're not Zendarians. They are
Kree.
Yeah. Be a good Kree.
Yeah.
And the thing that really starts this off for me is when she's talking to the great hive mind and what's the Supreme Intelligence. She says very sincerely, "I won't let you down," because she wants to be this good hero. And her, just in a nutshell, what I think is, by the end, these people are telling her to do this. These people are telling her to do this. In the end, she says, "I'm only going to listen to me, and I think that I want to do this, and here's how I feel about it." And then she does it.
Yeah. What's weird is that, so you and I are really closely aligned actually on this, is that her flaw is what, like, every time someone says, "Oh, she was a little bit wooden," or "Oh, she doesn't show a lot of emotion," I'm like, that's the flaw. That's like the whole first half of the movie is everyone telling her you can't control your emotions, so she's behaving like a robot. And it's only at the end of the movie when she's got the powers that she can be like, "Woo!"
Yeah,
and really enjoy herself, because it's like the reverse Star Wars, right? Like in Star Wars, like if you show emotions, it's bad, and so they're always like, you've got to control your feelings or whatever, and then that's how you become like a good Jedi.
Okay.
This is like, all that advice is wrong. Okay?
Sure.
Like, you will control your powers.
She's a Sith.
When
You're saying she's a Sith.
Yes. Her powers come from her emotion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So when she goes like full binary at the end of the movie, that's when like she has a moment of exhilaration. She can fly at the end of the movie because she recognizes this is fucking awesome, and it's okay for me to love it.
She leans into it.
Yeah. So I think that the criticisms kind of go hand in hand. I think there's another thing though.
Okay.
And maybe this is a Captain America like external thing. I think that the Kree, in my mind, I'm a big comic book reader as well. So I don't know how much of this was in the movie and how much is me reading into it. I feel like the Kree is like an intergalactic empire that's like a proxy in many ways for the United States.
The Kree. Oh, the Kree. Oh, yes. Okay, I thought you were talking about the shapeshifters.
They're the Skrulls. No, not the Skrulls.
Yes,
they're like they're the hegemony, right? They're the big power, the big global intergalactic power.
Yes, and they hate immigrants.
And they hate
they hate undocumented immigrants. As America, cheers to that. Let's move on.
So the Skrulls in this particular case, the fact that they come out and they say, these guys are. What do they call them again? They call them refugees.
They said. I think they did say refugees.
They call them refugees. Okay.
One of them did.
So to my mind, I think they could have sold that harder. I think they could have had some like really mean like anti-Skrull rhetoric in the early part of the movie, but maybe that would have showed their hand. I didn't see it coming that the Skrulls were going to be the good guys. But to me, that's a huge. That is a. You talk about lessons learned. The fact that. it's like the opposite of Captain America. Captain America, for all this, like, I had to take down S.H.I.E.L.D., I had to go against the government, all this stuff. He still believes in the American ideal. At his core, he loves America. He'll always love America. Yeah. Carol Danvers doesn't love the Kree Empire anymore.
Well, she hates the.
She's come around on it, and that's a big change.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that I buy this. She doesn't have a character arc thing.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. And also, I think she could. I think she almost could not have been more perfect in the way that she acted this, because if you are doing all this crazy, like, she's super crazy, she's crying all the time, she's like, is that what you want? Like, you want this to be the super over the top, like, there is a nuance to the way that she did this character, and I thought it was amazing.
It struck a good balance.
A way that she just smirked at a certain time, for example.
Oh, I love all of the Nick Fury, Carol Danvers stuff throughout the entire movie.
They had great chemistry.
Yeah.
I think those two have great chemistry. What a great buddy cop, buddy alien, Men in Black group they are. She's Will Smith, and he's...
Okay, we're going to move on, because we've talked about Captain Marvel, and we both agree it's awesome. Fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy.
Actually, I like Matt Goldberg stuff, to be honest. I like a lot of his movies.
I gotta say, I don't know who that is.
That's right.
So, all right. We want to talk, mostly Daniel, wants to talk about a news story, and actually, I agree that there are some pretty... funny things.
This is a weird story.
It's really weird.
Such a strange story.
I don't even give us the scoop on this this story that has been.
So Jussie Smollett as an actor on Empire.
Sure.
And
have you seen Empire?
I've never watched
Empire.
Okay,
neither have I.
I really know nothing about Jussie Smollett or anything that's going on there. But he ended up in the hospital. He'd been attacked. He said that there were a couple of guys wearing MAGA hats, yelling racial slurs.
Is it MAGA or MAGA?
I don't know which one it is.
Who cares? Okay. So they yelled racial slurs, they wear their hats, and they said,
get out of our country, Trump country,
bitch.
or whatever. Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Sure.
Get out
Something
of
like that.
Yes,
but more racist, I assume.
Yeah. And anti-gay as well. Also,
is he gay?
He's gay. He's gay.
Oh, he's gay. Okay, he's gay and he's black.
He's black and gay.
To somebody who wants. This sounds like a target for a MAGA hat wearing person.
Yes.
Just gonna put it out there.
Although, I don't know how many people that wear MAGA hats watch Empire.
What do they want? If you're that kind of person, what do you want?
I don't know what you want. You want Roseanne.
Right.
It's not on the air anymore.
That's funny. Okay.
All right. So a huge outpouring of support for him on social media, as you can imagine. A lot of sort of bleeding heart liberals going, "Oh no, this is terrible. This is what is happening to our country.
Yeah,
this is because of Trump and all this kind of stuff."
Yes. Well, because there's a million stories like this.
There is a million stories.
Yes,
and stuff like this really does an unfortunate job of undercutting all that stuff.
Sure.
But we're not talking about all those other stories. We're talking about this one. All of a sudden, the police sort of went quiet on it for a while, and then they started. It came out that they were investigating him. It was like, why are they investigating Jussie Smollett? And then all the sort of information started to come out of the thing. He had evidently hired a couple of extras out of the Empire.
So extras on his own show.
On his own show.
I know. There's a funny. So I saw they had apparently a clip where these extras went to a Walgreens and bought masks.
And bought masks. Yes.
And it's just like them, and they're jacked.
Oh, they're so jacked.
They're
super jacked. They're two jacked Nigerian brothers, and they did beat him up. He paid them to beat him up, and he did go to hospital.
Okay, let me ask you this: if you thought there was a worthy cause, would you pay somebody to kick your ass?
No, I'm just
I feel like
props to Smollett for going through with that.
I'm trying to think under what circumstances would I, if this is in fact what happened, pay somebody.
Did you watch those two jacked Nigerian guys? Those guys look like they could throw a punch. I'm just saying.
I actually think what makes more sense and maybe is less painful is to get what I would do if I was this. Sorry, a little off topic. Is be in my house where I'm comfortable, drink a lot, take some ibuprofen, and have somebody punch me once or twice in a couple of different spots where it's controlled. I'm not breaking a nose. He's an actor. You can't ruin his face.
Yeah,
right?
Can't ruin his face.
Do a couple of those
it's probably
things.
to intentionally, but they did it outside because the plan was to get it on security camera. And they did it from the back, so you couldn't quite tell.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
So you beat yourself up. You walk with your head down. You get in front of the camera. You're back facing, and then you already are injured. That's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. But that's neither here nor there.
Also, like, if I'm going to hire a couple of guys to pretend to be MAGA people, I'm probably not going to hire 2 African guys.
So yes, but yes, but I think it's important to note that there are black Trump supporters. There are black Trump supporters.
All right, all 6 of them.
I think it would be interesting. 'Cause I haven't done any research on this, but okay, yes. If you watch the news, anytime you see a MAGA hat, it's overwhelmingly like these white people. Are there Asian Trumps? Have you seen an Asian?
I have seen one Asian Trump supporter. Okay. Well, that's not entirely fair. I saw one Asian Trump supporter back when he was running. Okay. Not now.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think
that was when like the grab him by the pussy stuff. That was like that's like height of.
But I think the big thing is that back then there was a sense of this is the guy that doesn't give a fuck, and so he will like not be controlled. But he's actually just pushed a completely Republican agenda. So this is not politics talk. Look, all I'm saying is I think there were some people that were on board with Trump at the beginning that might not be now. But
so this person, we think. So you think there's overwhelming evidence that he's paid off these people?
There's definitely overwhelming evidence that he's paid off these people.
Okay, so he went to jail.
No, that's not what happened. No. So here's the latest on this. Here's the Smollett scoop.
Okay.
Infuriating Chicago's mayor and police chief, prosecutors abruptly dropped all charges against Jussie Smollett on Tuesday after the Empire actor accused of faking a racist anti-gay attack on himself agreed to
he's innocent. So he's innocent.
$10,000 in bail. No.
So I say that last. The city is keeping
his $10,000. Prosecutors said they still believe Smollett concocted the assault. They gave no detailed explanation for why they abandoned the case only 5 weeks after filing charges. The dismissal drew immediate backlash. Mayor Rahm Emanuel called the deal a whitewash of justice and lashed out at Smollett for dragging the city's reputation.
Wait, we gotta stop for a second because there's so many things here. So the prosecution said, we think he's guilty, also we're dropping charges.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so
those are both correct.
Let's just move on from that. And he said this is a whitewash of justice?
I don't know.
Like, is there some race, like, what's...
I don't know
why those words?
I know, that's weird, isn't it?
Whitewash of justice. And, like, should justice be black?
Maybe because they're casting a white guy in the made-for-TV movie of the Jussie Smollett story.
That would be hilarious.
That's the whitewash of justice.
Who would be upset in that situation, and who would be? Because if you're a very progressive person,
you can't really support Jussie Smollett anymore.
You can't support Jussie Smollett, but okay, imagine they're making a movie about this and they cast a white guy, and then people who are very into making sure that Hollywood isn't whitewashed, that black people should play back black characters.
Yeah.
But this movie is making that black person and their cause look bad. So wouldn't they rather have it be a white person playing him?
No idea. It seems like these are the ins and outs for someone else to figure out.
Okay, so a whitewash of justice happens, and then what?
And that's it, and he's being let off free. So a lot of people are now very upset about this. And I didn't know about this until yesterday, but then you actually mentioned this to me, that he was getting off.
Wait, so... is the consensus that he paid essentially $10,000 to get off?
Here's my take. Yes, he definitely paid people to get off.
Okay, I gotta say, if all you have to pay is $10,000, then I think if I saved money for a little bit, I could just get out of jail free. But I thought I had to be a millionaire, but $10,000 is like, compared to
here's my take on this.
Okay,
right, like. A lot of people are upset, right? This is fraud, and I guess, but like I'm trying to unpack this, and this is ultimately a victimless crime. Like what? The only victim is Jussie Smollett. let's look at the net here. He got the shit kicked in. He ended up in hospital.
He lost his job.
He lost his job. He got fired from Empire. He is definitely not working in any kind of show again, unless it's some like reality show, sort of scraping the barrel.
Yeah.
Like this guy's name might have some cachet in like a nefarious
That's a hard
kind
one
of
to
way.
recover from.
Like you're not getting like what is Jussie Smollett do now? I suppose you could throw him in prison for a few years or whatever the appropriate thing is for like
filing a false police
report and all the other whatever it is that he's been like the. I guess some of them are felonies that he's accused of, but at the end of the day, like
he's the victim of his own crime.
This is a dumb crime. So is it worth getting upset about? I don't know. My take is let him go and see what happens. Is he going to be a repeat offender? Is he gonna,
you better put me in jail to kick my own ass.
I mean, part of the point of like prison is remediation, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, what if he is a recidivist and he goes back and hires 2 more people to kick his ass? You know what's actually funny is he's boy cried wolf himself. If I was a MAGA hat, I would go
totally
and beat his
him up
ass,
right now.
and then nobody would believe me. So once again, he's the victim, and he's probably going to get his ass kicked again. That's incredible. So would Batman kick his ass?
I think Zack Snyder's Batman would definitely. Zack Snyder's Batman would beat him within an inch of his life, and then he'd leave him and say, "You got to think," and then he'd brand him with a little bat symbol in his forehead, so everywhere he went, everyone would know that he paid.
That's a little
Batman
racist. Can Batman really? I don't know. I wouldn't brand Jussie Smollett if I was Batman.
Right.
Like. Ooh, in this political climate,
That might be a whitewashing of justice. Let's move on.